It's time for another round. I have to find 99 things to say about Sadio Mane in less than 8 minutes. But honestly, seeing as he's a guy you can't help but love, this will be a pleasure. 99 things about the Senegalese Prince of Liverpool, the most generous player on the planet. Let's go. Sadio Mane was born on April 10, 1992 in Sédhiou, Senegal. He then grew up in the little village of Bambali. His father was an imam, so Sadio spent his younger years between a Quranic school and working in the fields. His parents banned him from playing football. They thought it was a waste of time. They wanted him to become a teacher or a farmer. But Mane had another dream in mind. He skipped school to play football. Sadio was so poor that he played with plastic shoes. His uncle brought him his very first set of real boots back from Spain. And Sadio was so proud that he's kept them safe ever since. Sadio lived in a small house with 10 others, his parents, his sister, and his uncle. When he got home after skipping school to play football, his father beat him as a punishment and put him back on the right path. But his father was a loving man who protected him and told him all the time he was proud of him. Unfortunately, his father died in 1999 from a long illness. Sadio was only 7 and thought it was a joke when he was first told. His father died because there wasn't a hospital in his village. That's why Sadio built a hospital in Bambali once he became a professional football player. And it was far from guaranteed that he'd become a professional footballer. Sadio definitely fell in love with football in 2002 after Senegal's incredible World Cup. His hero and favorite footballer is none other than the former Liverpool player El Hadji Diouf. Ronaldinho was his other favorite player. People in his village call Sadio Ronaldinho. You know his dribbles. I don't need to explain why. Today, Mane loves Neymar and his style of play. Yes, the very same Neymar who he definitely sidestepped during PSG Liverpool last year. But anyway, back to Sadio's youth. At 15 years old, he fled his village to take part in a trial in Dakar. Only his best friends knew. His family looked for him for a week. Mane eventually signed for Generation Foot, then for Metz in France in 2011. He had a complete culture shock. It was 23 degrees Fahrenheit, and Mane was frozen to death. After a few months in Metz, he signed for Salzburg in 2012 for $4.7 million. He dazzled there and went on to sign for Southampton in 2014 for $27 million. Then for Liverpool in 2016 for $48 million. Today, at 28 years old, his market value is $142 million. At Liverpool, Sadio is an absolute beast. The 5'9" striker has already scored 84 goals with the Reds, which makes for a total of 156 goals at the club level in his career. At Liverpool, he wears the number 10 that he picked up when Philippe Coutinho left. 10 has been his favorite number since he was a child. Sadio Mane is also a pillar of the Senegalese team. In 61 caps, he scored 16 goals. Sadio Mane is New Balance's megastar, his boot sponsor. But despite his celebrity status and his 8 million followers on Instagram, Sadio Mane has remained simple. He's very close to his family. He calls his mother and sisters every night. He's also generous. Every month, he sends money to families in Bambali. He sends them jerseys and made a donation of $260,000 to build a school in Senegal. He's also incredibly humble. He was seen cleaning a mosque's toilets. He also happened to go to the mosque in a non-luxury car to pass unnoticed. 2 things that perfectly sum up who Sadio Mane is. He's a happy person, relaxed, who doesn't feel pressure. But he's also discreet and timid. He admitted to being one of the most quiet and shy people in the Liverpool locker room. Completely the opposite to Robertson, who said he's the funniest and craziest guy in the Liverpool locker room. But don't think that Sadio is serious all the time. He loves laughing and pulling pranks on his teammates. One day, he hid Naby Keita's phone in the locker room to wind him up. Naby Keita also happens to be his best mate at Liverpool and in football. They often play chess together. Sadio Mane is also very close to Idrissa Gueye, the PSG midfielder. Salah is another of the guys Mane is closest with in the locker room, even if he lost his temper with him one day when he didn't give him an easy pass against Burnley. It was the first time they had fought, so Salah was very surprised after the match. But they calmly talked it over in the locker room, and all has since been forgotten. Unlike what we often hear, Mane is faster than Mo Salah. He's even one of the fastest players in the world, since he was clocked at 24.13 miles per hour. Salah and Sadio form a devilish duo. They've collaborated together for 22 goals. Firmino is the second teammate who he's collaborated the most with to score, with 21 goals together. But Firmino is the player he's played the most with. Sadio and Bobby have played 162 matches together. Mane also confessed that Firmino always tried to make him dance in the locker room. And of course, Sadio refused every time. Willian is the player Mane has played against the most. They've played against each other 15 times. Mane has never managed 4 or 5 goals in a single game over his career. He's only scored 1 hat-trick with Liverpool in the Champions League against Porto. At Southampton, he managed 2 hat-tricks, and the one he scored against Aston Villa in 2015 was the fastest hat-trick in Premier League history, 2 minutes 33 seconds. So Mane gets to celebrate a lot on the pitch, but does he like celebrating off it? In fact, not at all. Mane admits that he's lazy. He doesn't really like going out to party. Sadio prefers going to restaurants or staying in and watching films or series. He loves Game of Thrones, but also the series Power and Arrow. He's also a huge fan of action films, especially martial arts films. He loves playing ping pong with his friends. However, he's never played a PlayStation. What world are you living in, Sadio? Have you never experienced the joy of massacring your mates on FIFA? Mane also loves board games and, naturally, watching football. He also watches French Ligue 1 a lot, and his favorite club? Marseille. OM has been his favorite club since he was little, and still to this day, he watches all of OM's games on TV. The club he hates the most is? Well, no club, of course. We're talking about Sadio Mane, a guy who's always positive. He does have a little problem with Manchester United, but that's all. By the way, he nearly signed for Manchester United, but Jurgen Klopp was more convincing. It wasn't love at first sight, though, because the first time Klopp met Mane with his blonde streak that you all know, he thought he was a rapper who was just starting out. How are we doing in terms of time for the challenge, Romain? Are we good? Okay, I've got to stay concentrated. Moving on to Sadio Mane's daily routine. In the morning, he always gets up early. He takes a shower, then he prays. Then he goes directly to training where he's always the first to arrive. He happens to be a real hard worker who takes a lot of care of his body. In fact, he loves his body. Yep, that's 100% true. He follows a strict diet. But unfortunately, Sadio is a terrible cook. So he counts on his chef, Damien, who comes from Poland and who makes all his meals. Sadio loves fish. His favorite dish is salmon. He also loves fruit, but he never eats fast food. Pizzas are banned in Sadio's house. No, not even a little bite. Before matches, Sadio is on his phone. He listens to music. According to his teammates, he's addicted to his phone. He never puts it down. When it comes to music, Sadio listens to a lot of Afrobeat. He's a fan of Wizkid, but his favorite singer is Youssou N'Dour. After matches, Sadio takes an ice bath and has a massage. Come on, just a little bit more information. Sadio loves singing. He sings all the time. He's very superstitious. When people said that Liverpool had a huge chance of being champions, he immediately touched wood. He's also very discreet about his private life. Rumors suggested that he was in a relationship with the Rwandan Kate Mashabi. The young woman even posted photos of her in Anfield's locker with Sadio. The Senegalese player denied these rumors. Finally, his mother never comes to watch him play in the stadium because she gets too stressed. She came to see him play once, but she left after 2 minutes. There you go! You're a beast, Randy. You're a legend! Now it's up to you to find the 100th thing about Sadio Mane. But I don't know what we've possibly forgotten. We'll post it in the next episode of 99 Things. While you wait, thank you to these 3 Oh My Goalers who left the coolest comments on the Zlatan Ibrahimovic video.